So, just another quick live video just to talk about one of my pet bugbears. Sorry, the cockatiel's shrieking in the background there. Every time I go on the phone or the video. So talk about one of my big bugbears. That's people who teach property sourcing, packaging, trading, etc. Sat on another one for webinar for 2.5 hours last night with this couple from London. They've been doing proper deal sourcing for 15 months, and they're now trying to teach it to other people. 15 months is not long enough to get the experience to teach, in my opinion. I wouldn't try and teach deal sourcing, packaging, and I've been doing a bit longer than that. So anyway, I thought I'd give it a listen. I'd already done the background checks, been on Company House and looked at the different companies. I knew how long they were established for. To be fair, they actually recognised compliance, even though they didn't really understand it from what they were saying. They didn't do anything in depth. They were more keen to sell their course at the end. So it was still glossed over compliance. But they did mention it. They did mention you need to register with the HMRC. They missed out the ICO. They did touch on professional indemnity insurance, public liability. But again, they missed out on a redress scheme membership. And if you're acting as an estate agent, and that's what they were telling people to do, negotiate on these properties for people, which means you are acting as an estate agent, similar role, you're covered by exactly the same law. So you need to be a member of the redress scheme, public liability, professional indemnity, ICO accreditation, HMRC accreditation for anti-money laundering supervision. And what they didn't touch on was the cost. So they were again, this is the common problem of a lot of these, virtually all the educators at the moment. They want to teach deal packaging, deal cut, deal sourcing, property trading. They don't talk about the cost of that. So you're talking maybe £1,000 to set yourself up, maybe a little bit more as a deal sourcer, packager, property trader. So you do need to have that money. You also, it's not just as simple as setting it up. You need to have the policies, procedures in place for protection of data under the GDPR, anti-money laundering policies, procedures in place, anti-money laundering risk assessment in place. And if people don't talk about these things, then how are these people that they are teaching on this 2-hour webinar, who might decide to go off on their own and try deal sourcing if they don't know about, they haven't told them about it, they're not going to know, and they could fall foul of the law. Because if you haven't got these things in place, and I've said it before, you can be fined. So if you're going to get someone to teach you about deal sourcing, deal packaging, property trading, ask them the questions about compliance, ask them what's the upfront cost. If they say there's no upfront cost, walk away, because they don't know what I'm talking about, because there is. So, and don't believe any BS about you can co-source with them under their accreditations, etc., because you can't. If you're acting as a company, as an independent, unless you're employed directly by them and paid a salary, you're actually working for yourself, and so you need to be accredited and have your own insurance, your own memberships to these things. So just be aware. So watch out where you get your information from. I quite like Kevin McDonald's stuff, and I'll put a link in the comments when it goes up on Facebook. That's for Kevin's deal packaging course. I think it's quite good. He does know about compliance. He does know about the need for it. Definitely worth considering. And if you don't know who Kevin McDonald is, he works part of the Progressive team. He works with Rob Moore. He's an expert on no money down. And I never used to really think there was such a thing as no money down. But I've listened to be fair, I've opened myself up to it. I'm actually going down to do his no money down course in May, because I listened to him on stage at a multiple streams of property income event with Progressive. Remembering I've been bitten by Progressive before in the early days, back just after lockdown, when they were selling online courses, which was shite. And I told them that, by the way. So, But I've gone back, I give him another chance, and to be fair, Kevin, yeah, he's a clever guy and he's worth listening to. Certainly if you don't want to do his deal package, his no money down course, why not go to one of the multiple streams of income? They're not expensive. You'll hear Kevin, you'll hear Tony Gargan, a couple of the other people who teach different property strategies there. And yes, there's an upsell there. They're trying to sell their courses, but you get lots of free information. You get to talk to these people. You get to get your questions answered. You get to network. So, if you don't want to buy one of the courses, don't buy one. Just enjoy the networking and the conversation, because it's a really good event for that. I'll put the Masopi link down as well in the comments once this goes up on Facebook and LinkedIn. Anyway, that's me for today. My little rant again about property educators not educating properly. Be aware of what people are doing and what people are saying. Do not get conned by people saying you don't need to be compliant or not telling you about compliance. This is one of the main legal things that you need not to get fined by the HMRC or anyone else. So compliance is really important. Public professional indemnity is really important. That protects you if you get sued, for misdescribing stuff. So take that on board. Have a look at the Masopi link. I'll put the deal packaging course link as well down there and consider them. I'd suggest maybe looking at the multiple streams of property income course, which I think there's 2 dates at the moment. I'm going to one at the end of April. So if you go to that one, I'll see you there. Maybe see you there. It'd be great to catch up and network and make some new contacts. Anyway, that's all from me. Have a great evening and keep moving forward.